What's the biggest mistake you see business owners making when trying to get clients online? The biggest mistake that I am seeing on a weekly basis, people are trying to create content for themselves instead of the consumer. Because if you think about it, people are getting on social to be either educated or entertained. If you can lock those things in together and create a hybrid, that's gonna be the best spot that you can possibly be in. And so think about the person on the other side of the screen instead of yourself and your business. Don't just talk about all of your accolades and your awards. Try to bring value and provide something that is worth watching to the viewer. If someone has 0 followers but needs clients this month, what should they do first? 0 followers. The first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna go join every single Facebook group that you can possibly find that is local, because if you're selling a local service, then you're gonna have to reach the local people. And so go and join all the Facebook groups that you can and start posting in them. Be active, be specific. Say, hey, I'm looking for this many people to take on for my cleaning business or whatever it is that you're trying to do, but be active in the groups because that's where the people are, and you can usually narrow them down even to like small business groups. So make sure to join the Facebook groups. I feel like they're slept on big time. I've had I don't know how many thousands of dollars generated from utilizing these groups. How do you know if your content is actually working or just getting vanity metrics? Well, just look at your profit and loss statement and it'll be a lot easier to answer after that. What's the fastest way to turn content into cash without being salesy? So you gotta provide something of value up front. So for example, I put on a 5-day build with video challenge for business owners who are wanting to up their content game. It's a free challenge as of right now. And so what this is, it's like a version of a lead magnet. I'm putting this offer out there that's gonna be a value exchange. I get to know them and their desires and exactly what they want and what they need in their business. And I get to make them an offer at the end in exchange for a ton of free value. So I show them all the softwares they need, how this whole content thing works. I take them through our 3A framework and go one-on-one for 45 minutes a day for 5 days. And so this is a huge value exchange because I get to know them, they get to know me. So find something that you can provide with tons of value in exchange for like a follow or a direct message. Utilize lead magnets heavily. And so as an example, you can put out a free PDF. Say, hey, I have this free PDF. It's a game plan on how to build your business up to $100,000 per month utilizing content. If somebody hears that and sees your video and you're like, comment the word brand and I'll send it to you for free. This is an example of a lead magnet. They click the link or comment the word, I send them a PDF. They give me their email address and phone number and name, and then they automatically become a warm lead in my system. Because of the way I've funneled them into putting in their contact info, as soon as they're a warm lead, now it's all about the sales part. So how many emails are you sending them? Are you giving them a phone call saying thank you for downloading the PDF? Just make sure that you are always thinking ahead 5 steps on where this person is actually going to end up after consuming your content. Hey, really quick, I wanted to let you guys know about a 5-day challenge. It's called 5-Day Build with Video Challenge that we put together exactly for you, because if you're watching this, you're probably an entrepreneur, a business person, or a creator who's looking to monetize. And so if that's you, there's gonna be a link in the description. We're gonna be going over all of the things that I've learned and took away over the last 4 or 5 years to figure out how to make content work for your business and not against your business. And so for us, this is how we get about 90% of our clients within our business, and it's 10x, sometimes 100x our engagement and views and even leads. Same exact thing goes for all of our clients. And so if you're interested in this, click the link below and apply today. There's only a limited number of spots because it is one-on-one. And so hope to see you in the challenge. Let's get back to the episode. What would you do differently if you were starting your business over today? I probably would have 10x the output of content that I was doing at the time. I partially didn't know what I was doing. And so I was just kind of making random videos, and it took me a little bit longer, but because I was putting out videos in the first place, it put me ahead of everybody else in my local market because nobody else was doing it. And so people saw this and they reacted and they started booking me for, at the time, doing a bunch of real estate media. And so if I was to go back and do it again, I would probably be more selective as to who I was working for and with, as well as putting out like double or even triple the amount of content, even if that means delegating out early on. I know it's not possible for everybody, but if I had to go back and change one thing, that's what I would do. How do you make your content not sound salesy? So there is a method that I try to follow whenever I can. This method, I didn't make this one up, I'll admit it. I took this one from Chris Do. Phenomenal stuff that he puts out. But he has something that's called the 911 method. And so this means you're basically posting 9 pieces of valuable content, and then you're posting one that is purely for entertainment and to build that trust and relatability with the viewer. The last one is a only call to action post. So on this post, you're going to be specifically asking for them to take a next step and nothing else. Because after those 10 posts, after you do the 9 value posts, after you do the 1 personality post, I like to mix in a little bit more personality in there. But according to this framework, by the time they get to the 11th post, they have gained enough value and trust from you that in their mind, they don't feel like you're being salesy at all. And so since you're giving them free value, they never feel like you're being over the top, because there's a lot of sales people that are very pushy, and content, you cannot do that, and you're not gonna get any engagement or views on your videos if you're pushy. So always be subconsciously selling through your content. And the way you do this is providing value and showing that you can actually do the job and actually help them. How do you know which platform to choose and go all in on? So the platform question, it narrows down to one main thing. Who are you trying to reach? Now, some people are trying to reach 60 to 80-year-olds. If you're trying to reach them, then you're gonna have to go to Facebook. Some people are trying to reach young athletes. Where are you gonna go? People who are in high school and college during 2025, they're gonna have to go to TikTok and maybe even some Instagram. And so it all depends on who you are trying to target and who it is you're trying to serve. For me personally, my ideal client is a business owner. 9 times out of 10, they're not going to be younger aged people who are in high school or college just because they're in school still. They don't own businesses yet. And so I push hard on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube because that's where my ideal clientele is. And LinkedIn as well. If you're a B2B, which is a business to business company, then you need to be on LinkedIn as well. How do you know if your videos are converting into clients? Well, this one is kind of self-explanatory. Just look at your wallet, look at your bank account. That's the main thing, but really when it comes down to it, you wanna check your conversion rates on your landing pages, on all of your funnels that you have set up, and you wanna look at how many people have visited this page, how many people have closed going through this page. And so whatever it is, if you have a course, if you have a service of some sort, you need to be able to use a system that you can track these numbers on, using land pages, asking specific questions and attaching all that and using automations, send it over to Google Sheets and do whatever you need from there. But make sure you keep track of things, and so you can compare the link clicks and track them all the way up until they close. And then you look at your sales for the month and be like, oh, this one came from here, this one came from here. And if your conversion rates are very low, then there's probably an issue somewhere else within the sales process. If you get the views and get the awareness, but you're not closing, that's not an awareness issue, that's a sales issue. After you look at all these things, you should have a pretty good idea if your content is converting. How do you monetize on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram? So the main way to monetize, we'll just use YouTube as an example. There's a few different ways. Obviously, there's the AdSense ways. You can get paid for people watching your videos and getting views. So every time an ad plays on YouTube, I believe it's about 55% of the revenue that they get from that ad goes to the creator. That's one way to do it. Once you start building up an audience, you can sell merchandise, you can sell courses, coaching. My favorite way is putting my own sponsorships in my videos. And so like saying, hey, today's video is sponsored by Howdy Media. We're putting on a 5-day challenge. Hit the link in the description, and they go and take the next step into taking the challenge, which then ultimately converts into business whenever I close them at the end of the challenge. So those are 3 ways. Another way, you can get sponsorships and brand deals. And so if you're making a lot of content, getting a lot of views, then some businesses are willing to pay a lot of money to put their product in front of your audience. Make sure your niche is dialed in, and it's gonna be a lot more valuable in the future whenever you do attract the person that you're trying to attract.